Yeah, my name is Gonzalo Jiménez Moreno, and I'm a professor at the University of Granada. And I study past climate change, basically, how environments changed in the past. Well, climate has been changing, and that's very noticeable here in Spain because every summer has been hotter. I mean, I follow the media a lot because I teach my students about that. So, I keep myself updated about the subject, and temperatures are rising like every summer. Sometimes I tell my students, that because we're used to changing the AC at your house, and like I'm gonna set it at 22 degrees Celsius, I don't know, or 21. So it doesn't look too much, a degree or two or three, of a temperature difference. But if you think about it as only like half a degree or 1 degree can condition if you can plant apples, for example. And so just a change of half a degree or 1 degree can make your whole crop of apple trees to just not work, that year. It's just a little example of how like half a degree or 1 degree can change the economy or societies, because if that conditions agriculture, then you have to move somewhere else. The number of hot days of the year is getting higher. It's increasing in length too, and that's reflecting on also a lot of evaporation in the water and the water reservoirs. And the use of water, we have to use more water obviously because it's hotter, and so everything makes it even worse. Hotter temperatures, but then also the drought is increasing in this area, and so it's getting drier too. A lot of species are disappearing, or they're having to move here in the Sierra Nevada, which is a mountain range nearby Granada. There's a lot of species, for example, are moving to higher elevations because it's getting hotter. But some species can adapt, but others can't. And they're disappearing. The problem with fires is that when the climate gets warmer, well, that's another complex issue because what we're doing to the forest, that we live in the forest nowadays. We're building houses in the forest because it's pretty, and the problem of that is that the forest is not burning naturally, so the forest is getting more and more fuel. All these dry bushes, dry branches that are not getting burned naturally through fires that go fast. And when there's a fire, then that whole thing burns up like crazy. And there's no way that you can put that down. And that's what happened in Ronda, in Malaga, and a week ago, right? The real issue is that this is worse than a virus in this planet. The population is increasing so much, and we're using all the resources, including the amount of CO2 that we produce and other greenhouse gases that we produce into the atmosphere, like methane too. And unless there is a control or the population goes down, that's gonna still go up. I mean, I think that both problems are going together: greenhouse emissions and the overpopulation. In our countries, in Spain, for example, nobody's having kids right now. I think that the natality rate is very low. But in Spain is a very small country. in the whole world. And I'm not anybody to tell some other developing countries to control their birth rate. I don't know, because they want to develop too. They want to have families, they want to have kids. I mean, this is a very hard issue to deal with. It's not just about reducing the amount of CO2 that a factory produces. It's also, we have a major problem as a big society taking over the planet. Like, society is evolving into, like, we consume more and more, we drive. If we don't stop that, there's nothing that we can do. If we will all have to change our lives if we want to change anything. I think that we will all have to say, I'm done with this, as we understand our society and our way of living, you know what I mean? And maybe just, I don't know, go back to what we were doing like hundreds of years ago, and simple life, eating less and consuming less and living in very precarious conditions. But that's what would really be better for the planet.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to go back to that kind of stuff. I would like to see it. I would do it. But the way the system is, I don't know, it's difficult. I wouldn't be able to teach in this university if I lived in the country or didn't have a car. I don't know. It's a very complex subject.